Thank you very much, and welcome back to Race Industry Week 2023. So this week we're traveling around the world. We started with France this morning, and we're going to stay in France for another 30 minutes. We're going to bring on Frederic Lequien, who is the CEO of the FIA World Endurance Championship, including the fabulous 24 Hours of Le Mans, which celebrated their 100th anniversary this year. So Richard James is going to be continuing the interview, and we have Frederic on. Bonsoir, Frederic. Bonjour.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much for being with us today. So we'll leave you in the hands of Richard James.
Thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon for you.
Good morning.
So for the American audience, some of whom aren't as familiar with the World Endurance Championship, give me kind of the overview of how you describe this series.
Yeah, it's quite a wide, difficult question because I need time to answer. First, I would say that we are a young world championship, only 10 years. We celebrated our 10 years anniversary during the season 2022, but at the end we are young. And what we can feel now is that we are really entering in a new area. Something is happening in terms of media coverage, in terms of participation. We're going to welcome 14 different OEMs for the 2024 season, which is, I think, in the history of motorsport, that never happened in the history of motorsport. 14 different brands in the World Championship. So let's say that it has been a long journey. It took time to build something which is now very, very strong. We need to keep our head very cold, not be arrogant, not be pretentious, just continue to work, take care of the teams, take care of our suppliers, our sponsors, our partners, and we will see where we'll go.
Well, yesterday the series released its entry for 2024. It's an impressive list, and there are some names that aren't on it. You're in a situation where it's a good situation to be in the fact that you don't have to worry about empty grids, but at the same time you have to worry about being too full and turning people away. What's the balance there, and how do you arrive at who gets to come and who doesn't?
Yeah, maybe it's important to explain that the way we race in Europe and on the different circuits, tracks, we go around the world, we need some garages. We are not racing in the American way. So, and this is important to remind that, because the number of garages we have, it is directly linked to the number of cars we can accept. So that's why on the WEC, today we are 37 cars for the next season. Tomorrow we're going to have 37 cars, and maybe we will try to increase for 2025 to 40. We will see. But anyway, you're right. We have a limit, and we have to say no to some competitors, OEMs, and super nice, competitors. So it's always difficult choice. We have some different criteria. We try to be, let's say, to do our best. We try to be fair with everybody. We try to explain why they are in, why they are out. But as you said, it's better to have this. How can I say that? It's better to have this situation instead of having an empty grid, of course.
Well, looking over that list, what are you most anticipating about next season?
Next season, I think it's not the start of the hypercars category, but to me, this is the real start. We're going to have 9 different OEMs with really impressive brands on the grid, like Cadillac, Porsche, Toyota, BMW, Ferrari with 3 cars, Lamborghini, Peugeot, and I think I forgot Alpine also, the French brand. So of course, let's say that I would say in the top class category, we're going to have some very nice battles on track. And it will be also the beginning of a new category, which is called Le Mans GT3. So the base is the GT3 regulation, but we just add some, let's say, torque meters and some different stuff that can help us to check more the car, control more the car. And also we're going to have 9 different OEMs in the GT3 category. So I would say that in terms of diversity for the fans, this is absolutely good. It's very exciting, very promising. And also on the media side, we released the entry list yesterday, and I can tell you that we never had such big media coverage for the WEC. That never really happened. And also, I must underline that we are going to welcome some big names like Valentino Rossi or Mick Schumacher, which means something to motorsport fans, not only sport car fans.
Excellent. Well, you mentioned all the OEMs involved next year. BMW, Alpine, and Lamborghini come in, adding to what was already a fairly strong hypercar field. How important is it to have involvement from a wide variety of manufacturers?
It is super important because once again, it's when you have we need to pay attention to the privateers, to the private team, to the gentleman drivers, of course. But when you have so many OEMs which are officially involved in the championship, and when they are in hypercar, this is the top class, that brings to you a larger audience. And of course, that we are, let's say, really well known in the motorsport industry, but our target is to be well known in the sport industry. And for this, as I said at the beginning, we are a young championship, so we need the help of the OEMs, of the famous drivers, big names, and then year after year we are building something which is, I think, now very strong.
So, we said goodbye to the much loved GTE category in 23. As you said, the coming LMGT3. Give me an idea what WEC is doing differently than other series that use the GT3 platform. You mentioned some things to make checking the car easier. Could you elaborate about that and tell us about anything else that's going to differentiate the category?
I think that what is different is the media exposure we offer to the brands and to the teams. We are a world championship, and I have a lot of respect. And by the way, this is our partner when we do organize the Asian Le Mans series. I have a lot of respect and admiration for SRO, which is super great organizer. But we are world championship, so the media coverage we have, the media exposure we can offer to the teams is totally different.
Okay. Well, the one topic of discussion has been the balance between the hypercars built to the hypercar regulation and LMDh cars. Where do you see? What is the series trying to do to make sure that the competition between two different platforms is fair and equitable?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify this point, because this is something which is super important for us. We made some promises that we'll do our best to balance the two platforms, LMDh and LMH. And believe me, we have no interest to have the LMH in front, the LMDh, or the opposite. We need to have everybody in the same performance window. This is something which is super important for the convergence we have with the IMSA, which is a very, very strong partner for us. And this is what we promise to do to the OEMs, which are in both platforms. So we just end the 2023 season. We learned a lot. We have now many data. We have some very good professionals around the table from the FIA, from the ACO, but also from some private suppliers that help us to do the right balance of performance between the two platforms. So maybe we'll do some adjustment during the inter-season, but I can promise you once again that this is something which is a priority for us. I mean, we do not want to have a platform which is here and the other one which is with a big gap between the two. But I would like also to remind that the BOP is there to put everyone in the same performance window. But then this is the responsibility of the team to have the best execution during the race. And sometimes, and this is a personal, not only a personal feeling, but this is something I would like to say, that BOP can be also the perfect excuse. Because we have the data and we know that in terms of performance, the car are very, very, very close. So then this is the responsibility of the team to do a nice job on track, to have a good strategy, to have the best drivers, and at the end, the best competitor will win. What I do not want to hear anymore, if you allow me to say that, you do not win because of BOP and you do not lose because of BOP. This is something which is wrong, definitely. BOP can help, but cannot do anything.
Yes. Well, what
we love sport. We love sport, so it's important to remind that.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's good for the series. It's good for everybody if everybody has an equal chance to win.
This is super important.
Fans don't always see it that way. They're fans are often quick to blame BOP if their favorite marque or team isn't winning. How do you change that perception?
Well, I think we must do much more, sorry, in English, I'm not sure of the word, pedagogy. We need to explain more what we do. Not all the time trying to keep silence and let the OEMs communicate for us. I think it's important to remind that the data we have are confidential, but it's important to give more transparency and to explain which kind of data we have. And to say to the fans that our job is to put everyone in a performance window, and then they have to do the job, which is, once again, I think this is we offer a frame. We cannot offer a win or a podium before the start of the season.
Well, I know it's not a favorite topic of race officials, nor is it a favorite topic of discussion for media. So we'll move on from any BOP discussions. You mentioned the convergence with IMSA, and you've got the two platforms, obviously creating a lot of interest among manufacturers. Would you say that convergence has met its goal in your eyes?
Yes, I think we did a huge step, and the result we have both in championship in terms of numbers of competitors, quality of the grid, numbers of manufacturers. I mean, that's a good proof that the convergence is there. Of course, now we need to do the second step. We need to see some LMDh in IMSA. It's not only the responsibility of the IMSA. We need to convince the competitors which are racing in LMDh to go in IMSA championship. But once again, we have some regular, monthly discussion with the top management of the IMSA, and we love to work with them. It is really, really reliable partner, a very strong partner for us.
What's involved in that partnership? I mean, beyond trying to make sure that the rules allow, manufacturers to move back and forth between series. Where else and in what other areas are you working with John Doonan and IMSA to elevate the sport?
We have some discussion around sometimes sporting regulations. I mean, TV coverage, calendar, the way we build the calendar. We try to avoid clashes when it's possible. For example, we have many topics on the table. The main one, of course, is about the technical regulation, and this is something we must be online all the time. This is super important. We have also, this invitation system for Le Mans that we distribute to some winners in the IMSA Championship, which help for the convergence also. No, it's many different topics, and I would say that we allow ourselves to discuss about everything.
Okay. With the current success of sports car racing in all areas and a huge number of championships out there, how do you balance, when it comes to scheduling? I mean, drivers want to be able to race as much as possible and move back and forth between series, but that is becoming more and more difficult to work around other schedules.
Yes, and I do understand sometimes the reaction of some drivers, and sometimes they are a little bit disappointed because we have a clash. And I give you one example. We're gonna have one clash or two clashes between the WEC and the Formula E during the next season, and we have some drivers that are racing in both championship. But believe me, before we start to build the calendar, we try to have some discussion with some promoters or the organizers. And as you said, sometimes you do not have the solution. It's just impossible. So then I would like also to remind that when we always do our best, but this is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to do our best effort. But then if you are drivers, if you race for important OEMs, you also need to make some choice.
Okay, fair enough. So what do you see next on the sports car horizon? I mean, we're obviously currently enjoying a great time. Where do you see, how do you sustain that? What do you see as the next move to keep this momentum going?
Yes, it's a very good question. I think that we did only the first part of the job. Now we need to secure this success and make it sustainable. I think that sport car, it's all about the spirit of sport car, and especially in Europe, this is the spirit of Le Mans. And what I want to bring in the WEC, and what I want to bring to compare to other motorsport world championship, like Formula One, for example, is that we can offer to the fans the possibility to come on track to see the race for, and this is cheap. I mean, we are talking between 60 to 70 US dollars to spend 2 days with us. You see a lot of action on the tracks, a lot of animations. You have some food court. You have a lot of animation. You can come with the family, with the children. This is something which I think must stay popular. Must stay popular. Of course, we have some special product for VIPs, some very high standing hospitalities. But never forget that this sport car, has a special spirit, which is very linked to something that must be popular for everybody, that must be affordable. So for me, this is one of the most important points. And then the second one is that maybe we need to multiply our effort with the media. to make this sport a little bit more simple to understand. So we need to explain more, to take time to explain the strategy, because we have the action. We have, it's incredible on the WEC, on the IMSA Championship, on the European Le Mans Series. You cannot imagine how many overtaking we have, how many, I mean, it's super impressive to watch. But it is true that after maybe 1 hour of racing, a lot of viewers get lost because they do not really understand the strategy of and the spirit of sport car. And we need to multiply our effort to make it simple, to explain exactly why the cars stop to the pit, why they must change driver after, I don't know, 1 hour, blah, 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 blah. And this is something which is super important because it's full of human adventure.
Well, that brings up you know, an interesting topic, and one that I often encounter is in trying to, you know, explain some of the nuances of sports car racing with multiple classes, multiple drivers. How do you see a way to simplify that message? You say it's something we've got to, you know, make it easier to understand. Where do you see as the best avenue to do that?
It's a lot of small things. Just to give you an example, we have a lot of TV coverage and a lot of broadcasters, so it means a lot of commentators, and we need to train the commentators to make sure that they say some simple things to be sure that the viewers understand the race. But it takes time to do that, you know. Also, you know, few months ago, we did a very big survey. We asked some questions to 18,000 fans of the WEC, and one of the questions was, are you ready to support a change of the format of the race? What do you think about a sprint race, maybe on Saturday, a 1 hour race? 80% of them answered no, no way. We want to keep the DNA of sport car, which is endurance. So we want to see at least 6, 8, 12 hours of racing and 24 hours for the 24 hours of Le Mans. So I said that because I think that we need also to avoid mistakes and not choose the simple way of I think we need to keep our DNA, and we need to continue to educate the viewers, the fans, to what we are. I mean, and what are the strategy of the teams, and all the cars are built, which engine are in the car, and to give a maximum of details that are quite interesting for fans.
Excellent. Well, as you mentioned, the World Endurance Championship is a fairly young championship, and we've watched sports car racing evolve. You know, Group C, GT1. You know, looking at the history of sports car racing, and would you say that it's as good as it's ever been?
I think we never reached such level of it's. I do not want to seem pretentious, but never in the history of motorsport the championship gets so many manufacturers, and especially with some manufacturers like Ferrari, Lamborghini, BMW, Porsche, Cadillac. It's quite impressive. But I like the past, you know, so I do not like to say that it's better now, because it was also fantastic during the GT1 period, the Group C, and even before. I think we need all motorsport fans. We just need to be proud that sport cars is so wealthy at the moment, especially in 2023.
Excellent. Well, and indeed it is, and good luck with the 2024 season and dealing with all those manufacturers. And thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, Frederic. Stay with us a few more seconds. I mean, great interview. I'm so glad what you mentioned about the DNA of sports car, and you're 100% spot on. That is so important. So very proud of what you're doing, Frederic, and thank you for being with us today. So,
registering on ePartrade is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to ePartrade.